The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you by Rafter P Construction. Stick around to learn more about Rafter P's design build process and, of course, the biggest deer in the world.
This week, Deer and Wildlife Stories comes to you from just outside of Texarkana, Texas. We'll be visiting our friends at CC Bar Whitetails.
The whitetail deer is America's favorite big game animal, and whitetail deer farming is the fastest growing segment in the agriculture industry. Our program's mission is to dive into the world of deer farming and inform you of how deer farmers all over the country are now using rapidly developing science-based research on their captive deer herds to solve the chronic wasting disease issue through selective breeding. Not only is this new science working, but it's obvious that captive deer breeding is the only way to help save America's deer herds from CWD, which will help improve overall herd health and at the same time can produce more quality trophy-sized animals for the general public. Join me as we discover how whitetail genetics, deer auctions, animal husbandry, and so much more drive the modern-day deer farming industry. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
I'm Hank Corbell with CC Bar Whitetails. We're up here just outside of Texarkana, and we've got Keith Warren and his crew here today to go over the deer with us and help me bring them to you. We got 82 acres up here. 56 of it we've got in deer pens now. We're running anywhere from 450 to 650 head of deer.
One of the things about our television show is I think that we help educate people to make better decisions. I think that the smarter you get, the better decisions you're going to make. And so we want to feature people on our program that help give you good information about how do they become successful. Well, Hank and Shauna Corbell have been extremely successful. And the reason why is they didn't follow everybody. They're leaders, they're not followers. They looked at the genetics of deer, and they've got some great deer and have had great deer for years and years. But when all of a sudden the opportunity came up to breed CWD susceptibility out of the herd, Hank and Shauna were like on the leading edge of this. Meanwhile, the rest of the industry is just breeding for big, big, big. But Hank and Shauna focused on breeding for the CWD resistance. And it was that focus that really drove them to building the herd they have today. And now people from all over the country want to get what Hank and Shauna have built.
Hi, I'm Mike Connolly.
I'm Mike Connolly III.
We're out here today just to check out the farm at CC Bar and see about doing a partnership on some bucks.
Last year on Deer and Wildlife Stories, came out here and videoed Hank's farm, and we got to see that episode and was just really interested in his deer, thought his deer looked great. Obviously he's kind of one of the leaders in the industry right now in the markers and the breeding value side of things. Everybody wants healthy deer, everybody wants their deer to last and live a long time, and we feel like that's the route that we need to be going, so that's what we're doing. So we actually got to meet up with him at Nadifa this year, talk to him, and just love his personality, love his family. They're great people, they're just like us, down to earth, real good country people, and we just feel like that's who we need to be around and who we need to be involved with.
Hi, I'm Eric Ramsey.
And I'm Tracy Ramsey.
And we're here from Thunder Creek Whitetails. We came out to CC Bar this morning because last year we bought the choice buck off their farm, so we came out to select that buck. Well, we bought the choice buck because we were looking for SS bucks to breed into our breeding line at our deer farm. I had looked at 3 or 4 others, and I selected them because I thought they had the best product. I thought, wow, so here's somebody who really knows where this industry needs to go.
We've really appreciated everything that they've done for us, and we've really appreciated their hospitality, and they're great people. They keep their word, they do what they say, and they breed superior deer. And we're very thankful to be able to benefit from that. And we are very excited to work with them again today.
Yeah, here they are.
That 377, 340, yeah.
I mean, the difference you got 340, huge, massive frame. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be a giant. But his GBV just not where I want it. Yeah. But he is a massive SS. And then you got your 377.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same huge frame, but he's a negative 2481 SS. Right. Do you go with the one, you know, do you go with the big frame, the big antlers, or do you pay more attention to the GEBVs? They're both SSs, and both of them are great bucks.
For instance, in our herd, our numbers are higher, so getting
you need a lower
GEBVs.
Well, if you pick 377, you've got all the right in the world to do it because you bought it's your choice.
When Deer and Wildlife Stories returns, we're going to show you which buck Eric and his wife chose.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by MVP Whitetails, Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics, Rut Manufacturing, and Rafter P Construction. For more videos on deer farming, check out the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and make sure and follow us on Facebook.
Okay, so it's coming on the 3rd week of August, and as you see the bucks out here, they're pretty much grown out. But Eric wound up having pick of the litter, basically, okay? And
Yep.
I know it's got to be tough, but he really hadn't decided on one for sure, but which one is kind of the one he's really looking at?
But he really likes that one right there, the 377 buck.
Geez, but there's so many good yearlings is the problem. So, I mean, I don't know, how many yearlings you got this year?
It's about 128.
Okay, 128 to pick from. So the Ramseys came out here and they stayed pretty much almost all day, okay? And they were looking, and I'm sure they had a tough time, but that one right there is one that they really like.
I'm pretty sure that's the one he's going with.
Okay, so tell everybody about pedigree on that deer.
Yeah, he's a sea bass son.
All right, so talk about the GEBV score on him. What is he?
He is a negative 2481
An SS.
SS. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in Eric's shoes, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, you've got so many other good ones out here, but that GEBV score of being almost a negative 0.25 is incredible. And that, besides the pedigree and besides the look of the deer, that's probably why he's going to pick that deer. But that deer right there is a heck of a buck. All right, another deer that I would have picked is that buck right there. That he's almost out of his summer coat now. I mean, real
Right.
wide. Who is he?
That is one of the biggest frame, perfect typicals that we've raised as a yearling.
He's
in a
absolutely
long
gorgeous,
time.
and he's an SS.
He
I'm
is
sure.
an SS, absolutely.
Okay, so as you're looking at all these deer, I mean, this is phenomenal. I mean, when you take a look at it, I mean, I've been to farms all over the country, and I ask them, show me your list of deer, and somebody may have 10% of their deer SSs, maybe 15%. Very few people up north have got SSs at all. And percentage-wise, how many of your deer are either SS or GS?
98%. I mean,
all of them.
We're at least 80% SSs.
And so
At least.
80% SSs, I don't know of another farm anywhere, especially one of this size, that can claim that. And so as you're looking at all these deer, I mean, we're going to show you not just the yearling bucks, but breeder bucks, and you're going to see lots of deer out here. I mean, to realize that these deer have got the SS markers is amazing. I mean, this guy right here is the envy of almost every breeder out there. They wish that they had these SS markers. So these deer are absolutely phenomenal. When Deer and Wildlife Stories returns, we're going to show you what we call stalker deer. All right, so we're going to start showing you some stalker deer right now. But as we're showing you these stalker bucks, it's going to blow your mind as you're looking at them. I mean, how old are these stalker bucks?
They're 2. We sell just about all of our stalkers at 2 years old.
Okay, so that's interesting to point out that, I mean, take a look at the size of these stalkers, okay? They're big at 2 years old, and that's the whole purpose in farming. I mean, you think about it, whether you're growing corn or soybeans or deer, you want your crop to get big fast, okay, to be able to harvest it. And payday is when you sell stalkers for a deer farmer. How many deer do you have now?
We've got just under 600 head total, and we sell about 120 to 130 stalker bucks, 2-year-olds a year.
And when they wind up selling deer, a lot of times, I mean, the customers that buy these deer buy them year after year after year, don't they?
Yep, just about all of my customers are repeat.
And that says something about Hank, in that repeat business, no matter what business you're in, is the kind of business that you're after, because that means that people or appreciate not just the quality and the value, but also the customer service too. But these stalkers are awesome, and in many cases, these would be breeder deer in many people's breeder pens, because these deer, by and large, also carry that SS marker, don't they?
That's exactly. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make a prediction. 5 years from now, when people wind up buying stalker deer, they're going to be asking for S markers. What do you think?
They already are.
Yeah, they already are. The reason why is because people know that the S marker is more durable to chronic wasting disease. I mean, it's just, we're trying to do everything we can as a deer breeder, not just to grow big deer, but the primary goal is to grow healthy deer and hardy deer. And so it's that SS marker. When you start stacking that SS genetic over and over and over again, you're making deer that are really resistant to chronic wasting disease as much as we know scientifically that we can do it.
Right.
So I love the fact that these deer are big, framey, and they're pretty much typical. I mean, you've got some flyers on them.
Yeah, we got some that ain't, but yeah, we try. We pushing for the typicals. I know the inches are in, you need the trash to get the big inches. And some of my buyers that buy every year, they want the biggest. They don't, the more gnarly, the better.
Right. I mean, to each his own. I mean,
That's
some people
exactly
want non-typical, some people want clean typical. But that's the cool thing. You come out here with this many deer in the program and this many SS markers in this program, no matter whether you like big typicals or big non-typicals, you're going to find them here. So if you want more information about coming out here and taking a look at the deer, you can contact Hank Corbell at what phone number?
903-277-0591.
So you can give Hank a call, and if you wind up coming out here, you're going to see the whole family, because a place of this size, Hank can't do it alone, can he?
No way.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by the Animal Kingdom Auction Barn and 5K Ranch, LE Fence Company, the Texas Deer Association, Rut Manufacturing, and New Dart. Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back. Closed captioning is brought to you by Advanced Deer Genetics.
I'm fortunate enough that I know just about every breeder in the country, and I have the ability to be able to breed with just about anybody's deer that I want to. But the one lineup I breed with every single year, bucks from CC Bar Whitetails. Why? The genetics are there, okay, they're gonna get big. They've got the SS markers, but the real reason is Hank and Shauna. They are the best, and it's not just them, it's the entire family.
We started in 03, bought our first deer and all, and I'm telling you, my wife has been with me from the get-go, all the way through. I couldn't do it without her. And our girls, both my daughters, were raised out here, taking care of the deer since they were 7, 8 years old, and they still are a major part of it. My son-in-laws get out here all the time and help us. Got a brand new generation. I got 2 grandboys this year. Yeah, they'll be for sure deer farmers, and I can't wait.
It's important to me to raise my family on a farm because, one, I just feel like we should be one with nature, and we just love what we do, and I think that's like, at the end of the day, if you love what you do, it's not really work.
God gave us all this, and it's just been so much fun, and I'm excited to just share it with our little ones, and hopefully plenty more, God willing, little ones to come. So
Alonzo's been here 14, 15 years now, and his whole family. I mean, they're our family. Just amazing to be able to raise a family out here and do what we do. I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way.
It's inevitable that every time we show up at a deer farm, somebody's got an issue that they need help with. And we love jumping in and helping.
Yeah, we had, unfortunately, a pretty good little 4th of July party on the north side of our property up here. I had a few bucks get damaged up from all the fireworks. All right, 2 CC dart loaded with MK. And I got my sharpshooter over here, Savannah. I'm just trying to draw him in, get him into range. Oh, here he comes, he's making his move. All right, here he goes. Perfect.
Okay, now then we're gonna put some bands around these antlers so that we can cut off the blood supply before we saw him off.
Yeah, we're gonna take this sawzall and we're gonna saw it off. We're gonna try to plug these bleeders. All right, now then, we're ready for this next one. Okay. We got them sawed off. We'll make sure they get up tonight, and then we'll check them first thing in the morning, make sure everything's good on them. They don't relapse or anything from the meds.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds, the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, Mossy Rock Ranch, and the North American Deer Farmers Association. Now it's time for the LE Fence Minute.
Hey everybody, it's Ron out here with LE Fence again. Today we're out here on a job site looking over some of my land clearing that we do. So not only at LE Fence do we just build fence and just wreck out fence, but we also do all the land clearing that you could possibly need out on a property. So right now we're in the process of actually opening up a nice right-of-way for a new fence line to come in for a pasture inside of this property. So right now we're pushing out a bunch of old trees that were dead and or just trees that the property owner doesn't want to make enough room to where we can get around both sides of the fence line. So whether it be any type of fence construction, land clearing, or any type of land improvements you can think of for your property, we've got you covered here at LE Fence.
And that's what the breeder buckets look like right here at CC Bar Whitetails. So tell everybody who you got in here, because that one with the big drops,
That's Silver Star.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's Silver Star. Tell everybody about him.
Silver Star's 5 years old. He's done us a wonderful job. I mean,
He's an SS.
yes, he's an SS
with
negative.
a strong negative score.
Negative 2160. Does a real good job of, no matter what I breed him to, he'll bring it up. You know?
And there's people that are breeding with him all over the country now, right?
Yep, that's correct. He is, Keith, got to be our most consistent producer that we've had at the CC Bar. As far as just everything out of him is good.
And so you can go on NADAR, the North American Deer Registry, and punch in Silver Star and take a look at the offspring. And now you're going to see more and more people that are breeding with that deer because not just the look and not just the pedigree, but because of the numbers. He's an SS with a minus 0.2 and change. That's pretty awesome. So anybody else in here you want to point out? That guy right there has got a beautiful frame.
Yeah, no, that's 1202. I call him Samuel. That named him after my grandfather. I covered Silver Star daughters with him. He's Super Sid, is his dad, and typical on the bottom. He doesn't have the big wide open frame that Silver Star has, but he's got some good G's on him. I like his big basket rack.
Yeah, I like his look too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so point another one out.
Now that is Superstar right here. That's a Silver Star son. Probably figured that with a name. That's a buck that we partnered with Jerry Johnston and Brian Wilson.
And he's a beautiful deer too.
And he's a negative too. I really like him. I'm gonna breed with him. He'll bump that number on over.
See,
SS negative too.
so what you're trying to do now, with 80% of your herd being SS animals and the balance being GS animals, okay, you're basically trying to go to nothing but SS. And so as you do that, you're also trying to push that breeding value down low.
What I'm trying to do is breed to as low a number as I can, but they got to be, they still got to have the look. They got to have the history behind them, and I'm trying to breed -2 or lower. We bred some GXL. He's a negative 4.6, I think. The sea bass buck's -3.9.
That's pushing that breeding value down lower and lower.
Lower and lower.
That's pretty cool right there. That's a heck of a deer. So who is Blue 165?
Blue 165, he's a Silver Star son. Again, he had 22 does here that I just let him live breed those 22 does, and he still come out looking like that.
He bred 22 does?
22 does.
Okay, so I just put it this way. That's a lot of deer. I think out in the wild, to think about this, for a buck to breed 22 deer in the wild, it would take how many years to do that? A long time.
I've been told they breed 4 to 5 a year.
Yeah,
they'll breed.
Yeah, and so 22 in one breeding season, and now the whole industry is finding out that these deer are proving themselves.
2115, Keith, that's a buck we call Snickers. Eric Ramsey purchased that buck last year. and they bred him real hard. He's Marty Berry on the bottom, pure South Texas, Silver Star on the top. Silver Star crosses with anything, and I love the South Texas because it just makes them deer tougher and tougher.
Well, it does. I mean, the South Texas, the conditions of South Texas are tough, really, really tough.
Yep.
Okay, if you can get deer from South Texas, no matter where you are, in my opinion, you ought to really consider doing it because they're hardy. They're strong deer. The SS animals, we know for a fact, many of these SS animals go right back to that South Texas stuff.
Right back to it.
I mean, and it's amazing when you start looking at the guys that are really doing good in this business. Strategically, they're all kind of in line with doing the same thing.
Yep.
They're breeding the SS's, they're breeding the South Texas stuff, and they're breeding with lower breeding values. So we looked at another breeder earlier this morning, and who was that?
That was Good Talk.
And how old's he?
He's 2. He's 2 this year.
And the tines on him are like amazing, and he's got a great disposition.
We love that buck.
Yeah. And do you have a partner on him?
I got a partner on him. Yep.
So, yeah.
A good one.
Yeah. So when we talk about partnerships, okay, partnerships are a way that you can get in on a deer. You can participate at much less of a cost to you, less of a risk to you, because many of these deer, like that buck, are still left here on the farm. And so you can participate in the profits on it. You can breed it and participate in the profits on it and prove it out on your own farm. So if you're interested in coming to CC Bar Whitetails, you want to contact Hank Corbell. He's going to give you a phone number in just a second, but I want to tell you this is in the far northeast corner of Texas. Okay, just a little bit over there is Arkansas. All right, so if you've got a pencil and paper, write down Hank's number and give him a call. What is it?
It's 903-277-0591.
And folks, if you want to see more videos on deer farming, head over to YouTube, check out the Deer Farming channel, or certainly you can follow us on Facebook. I'm Keith Warren, and we'll catch you next time.
For more videos on deer farming, check out the Deer Farming channel on YouTube and Facebook. Rafter P Construction is rural America's premier design build contractor, building projects from the ground up for luxury home builds to barn dominiums, from deer and agricultural facilities to lodges, and all property improvements and infrastructure. You need to check out Rafter P Construction. Specializing in quality farm and ranch design build projects, Rafter P Construction encourages their customers to be very hands-on. Rafter P Construction, they'll be with you every step of the way to build your dream project.